You hear me all right?
I hear you.
Okay. All right. So this phone conversation is a mastermind call, and it's related to here. So we're going to cover quite a few things, but beginning with the Greylock reels that was required out at the airport. So the first thing is that when you buy a relatively small, less than half a truckload, so this is far less than half a truckload of material like that, the manufacturers sell it to distributors. So you call a distributor and you got a price. So there's distributor, normal contractor price. So how do I deal with those guys? Sometimes on an order of $15,000 magnitude, I might call a couple of different suppliers and say of that product, and you go to their website and get the distributor list, right? They might even have master distributor. And you get over a hold of a salesman that's been around a long time, and you say, just have a conversation. Say, look, if I had an order of $10,000 to $15,000 magnitude, and so if you put 10% on it, that'd be a minimum of $1,000 profit for your company, as opposed to a normal probably 15 to 35% margin that you have on these products, and we'll accept a drop shipment. Now, part of this depends on how urgently you need it. Is this something you can wait a few weeks on, or is this something that you need right away?
This is something I need like right now.
Oh, well, then, you need a stocking distributor. Somebody, you don't want to wait for the factory to put an order together and drop ship it, right?
Yeah, basically,
Yeah. So you call a couple of distributors, say, look, if all you got to do is take the inventory and you get to move it out of your warehouse, you get it off your books, pay for it. Typically, how do you pay for something like this? You open up an account with them, or is this a supplier you already have an account with?
We don't have an account with the supplier.
Okay, so you were going to order it and find out, if you'll take a credit card over the phone. How were you planning to pay for it? Just hopefully that he would open an account for you?
We're just trying to, what we were doing was we were just calling different vendors, and basically whoever gave us the best price, like you said, we'll order it over the phone, give them a credit card and wait for shipping details via, email.
Okay, but you need an open account, right?
Not necessarily. One of the guys I called, he didn't say I needed to open an account with them. He just said, I could just pay for it over the phone.
Okay, so how are you going to pay for it over the phone? Through an ACH transfer or through a credit card?
Through a credit card. Okay,
so you got a credit card that's got, at least that much credit on it so you can pay for it now. So the conversation goes to the wholesaler, hey, if you could move it out, first of all, let me make sure you have this inventory. Let me kind of walk you through it. If you could move that stuff out, right? If you could move that stuff out of your warehouse today, and you could take your cost and add $1,000 to it, and I'll pay for it right now with a credit card over the phone, would that work for you? And now he runs through the numbers. Okay, and you can tell him up front, I'm expecting that's going to be somewhere between $11,000 and $12,000 worth of inventory that you can move out of your warehouse right now, replace it later, and I'm just trying to figure out what makes sense. So in this case, it's for Hertz, right?
Yep.
But it's at JFK.
Yes.
So the conversation might be, hey, our friends over at JFK, John Fitzgerald Kennedy Airport here in New York, our friends over at JFK need vehicle maintenance. Got a lot of vehicles over there. So I'm kind of leading it on from their perspective that the people that are running the airport, they have a lot of vehicles, right? So I'm not telling them Hertz, right? That might scare the shit out of them. Everybody knows that Hertz went bankrupt. So the conversation would be my friends over, our friends, that's yours and mine, our friends over at JFK, the International Airport here in New York. They have a lot of vehicles, and they want to upgrade their service department. So I think there's about $10,000 to $11,000 worth of material if they're purchased right. If I purchased right, I mean, you just take your cost, add 10% on it. All you got to do is pull it out of your inventory and ship it. I pay for it up front, credit card over the phone. And if that works for you, that you can tack $1,000 on your cost today, move that inventory out of there, would that work for you? So that's what that conversation would sound like. And I'd call 2 or 3 distributors, probably the ones closest to you, that is within, 300 or 400 miles, so that it wouldn't take a long time for it to get there. You wouldn't have to worry too much about freight. Mm-hmm. Now, that's when I urgently need materials like this. That's what that conversation sounds like.
Yeah.
If I've got a half a truckload of material, like I did when I renovated the water treatment plant at Carlisle War College, where they had these massive water softeners, 4 great big huge tanks, such that the zeolite, the material inside a water softener that causes the ionic action that gives you soft water. Then I was calling the manufacturer saying, hey, I've got to manufacture some large water softener. I'm going to need a half a truckload at OEM price. OEM price is original equipment manufacturer. Now they're selling to me at the same price they're selling to Culligan and other manufacturers of water softener, which is typically, I think I paid something like 20 cents on the dollar by buying a half truckload OEM over what I would have paid if I said, hey, I got to rebuild, I'm a contractor and I need contractor pricing on a half truckload of zeolite. So imagine 20 cents on the dollar on a $50,000 otherwise ticket. So I'm buying a truckload at $2,000, half a truckload at $10,000 instead of $50,000. See how significant that is?
Yeah.
But that's not going. You can't do that with things like this. So we'll just start with that for today, since you got this urgent need, and that's the conversation you want to have. And the guy says, man, one guy might say, man, there's no way I could sell it. It cost me 10% just inventory. Okay, so if you add 10% for inventory and you can move it out at 5% markup, add another $500, at $500 to it, would that work for you? It might be 12, might be 12.5. I don't know. Let's run the numbers. Here, I'll give you a list. Let's walk down through this, right? I email you with this list here, and I just lay out the list for it. Is this stuff you have in stock or you don't have in stock? How long would it take you to get it? Because if you need it now, you need somebody that's got it in stock. Or some part of it, you may have to go to 2 or 3 different distributors to get everything you want.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Enough to get you started?
Yeah, that's basically what I started with. I mean, the original guy gave me some outrageous, number, and then I started to work it more and more and more, and then I got this number that I'm at right now. I was hoping that maybe you could have helped me.
Well, here's the thing. I haven't done any private work for 40 years, so I only deal with federal stuff. I'm talking people about, do you have GSA pricing, special pricing, for government projects, right?
Yeah.
If you move the product today, this is out of JFK. In fact, you might even carry that conversation. Hey, I got your numbers here. They don't look too bad, but, you guys have GSA pricing. This is going to JFK. You have better pricing. When I'm looking, you might say, well, what are you looking at? Well, you're in here at 15. I think the right number is somewhere between, 11.5 and 13. I'm not sure where. But maybe you got GSA pricing that you can lower this down, or if I paid for it today, first of all, do you have all the material in stock? Yes or no? Doesn't do any good for you to be selling me something I need if you don't have it, right?
Yeah.
So that's the way that I'm talking to people, because that's a conversation they probably never had, or if they had a long time ago, they forgot about it. So what happens is I get their attention because I'm talking words that they haven't heard. And so their brain becomes engaged and you get into a conversation.
Got it.
Okay?
Yep.
All right. I'll let you go then. Let me know how it goes out. Text me something after you get it done.
All right.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.